Hello, this is This is Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian that discusses this and that. One of these days, I hope to get my opening right again. Today, we're going to be looking at some tweets on Twitter. Um, and remember that just because you have an argument doesn't make your argument valid. All right. So we're going to start with this is actually where the tweet started. A feminist actually posted this. I don't have the tweet itself at the moment, but because I actually had to do like a lot of photo um, print screening and then put it in paint.net, capture it from paint.net, and then whole mess. So it's like 2 in the morning right now. So I'm not even really all here right now. So, anyways, I'll identify who the person was that actually did this. I mean, no disrespect to you until I actually start talking, then I may mean some disrespect. But so basically, I believe her name was Proto Feminist. We'll see the other slides in a moment, so I'll point her out. Anyway, she posted this picture right here. And this started off a stream of posts. Now, unfortunately, I can't look at every single post. I mean, I could try, but that would be almost impossible. And to be able to put it in context and continuity, it would just, I'd probably have to draw like a very big diagram in Visio just to be able to articulate everything. But I'm basically going to read the stream that leads basically to my post, which it went through a couple of things. So let's go ahead and read this here. I'm a gamer, but I'm not a GamerGate gamer. Why not? Because misogyny is not remotely attractive. Because I believe games should be made in a variety and not just for one demographic. Because I recognize that a true fight against corruption in journalism does not involve the harassment and oppression of women and minorities. Because I believe in equality. Because I've actually done my research to locate verifiable, reliable information about the topic. Because the individual is the smallest minority. I'm an individual. I am not like every other gamer. I do not like the same things as every other gamer. I believe there should be a variety of games to match the variety of gamers. Couple things wrong with this. What you're basically saying is that you're a gamer, you're an individual, but you're not like all the other gamers. You're a minority because the individual is a minority, and games should match the variety of gamers. So it sounds like to me you want games made exactly how you want them, and any game that's not made to cater you is misogynistic because you're a woman. Am I the only one who sees that? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Now, you are correct on a lot of things. A true fight against corruption in journalism does not involve the harassment of oppression of women and minorities. You're perfectly correct on that. Perhaps you should listen to the GamerGate side, especially Not Your Shield, who is trying to say exactly this. Stop using us as your shield. You know, the thing that you're basically doing right now? You're using them as your shield to say this is what GamerGate's about. So already you don't seem really like you want to listen to what anyone has to say. All right, so I don't know how visible that is to you. Let me see if I can improve that. That did nothing. Well, hopefully you can see that. If not, okay, so we've got Inquisitive Mind here, or at Live Beef. Kind of reminds me of a blue screen of death I once saw. It said 0xDeadBeef, dead beef. That was an interesting blue screen. Okay, so it was proto-feminist. I was correct on that one. I'm disappointed you purposely tried to antagonize. Proto-feminist or at proto-feminist. I believe in every single sentence written here. Not sure how that's antagonizing. I support your right to your beliefs. Inquisitive mind. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't believe it. I thought you had been mostly trying to remain a neutral party. I'm assuming this is referring to something else. I don't know what that's referring to. Proto-feminist. But like many others, I'm increasingly alarmed by the tactics, dishonesty, and hypocrisy of GamerGate, finding it harder to support. Humakati, also known as Astral Gal, Gal with 2 A's. Go take a look at the dishonesty, hypocrisy, not mention hate and bigotry we stand opposed to, and make a choice. Proto-feminist, responding to both of them now. Another obstacle for me is GamerGate's unwillingness to confront sexism in gaming. We're willing to confront sexism in gaming, but we're willing to look at the bigger picture and not just look at a one half of the equation. We'll get to that in a moment. There we go. Again, sorry if you can't read this. This is like the only way I could present this information. So now we got Stacy Chan, Anime Eyes 88. Interesting person. If I was more into anime, I'd probably follow this person, but so now responding to the main three. Oh, well, or are you not actually an actual gamer? If not, you have no business arguing for or against GG related topics. Inquisitive Mind now responding to the other three. Calm down there. Give her a chance to respond. Might not be on Twitter at the moment. So it was a difference between 1 day to 16 hours. Stacy Chan responding to the three. Oh, I have ha 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 laughing out loud. Oh, I have no doubt she will. It's hard to do in 140 characters without sounding like Christopher Walken. I'll have you know, Stacy, I think I do amazingly well with 140 characters, but that's just me. 3 hours later, Proto-Feminist finally responds, and I'm sure there was something going on, so, I mean, life happens. Nearly 150 games in my Steam library and a couple dozen more on PC. So you have a couple dozen more on your PC, or do you have them for your PC sitting on a shelf somewhere? I know 140 characters, but funny how you assume I'm not a gamer. So Stacy Chan again, Anime Eyes. I love the hair. It's adorable, or I guess the appropriate term would be adorkable. So, examples of sexism in any of those supposed 150 Steam games? So, proto-feminists, and if you are following this and you've seen some of this, you'll notice that I am skipping some things. And again, this is the stream that I was able to copy, so I wasn't able to get everything. So there might have been some things in between here and there. As that went from, yeah, I kind of jumped there. There's now, she's the proto-feminist responding to the main three. There's this video series called Tropes versus Women. You might have heard of it. Check at YouTube. Yeah, we have heard of it, and guess what? It's full of shit. Maybe you've heard of Thunderfoot. Maybe you heard of Sarkana Cod, or however you say that. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Perhaps you've heard of the honey badgers. How about you go check those out before opening up your mouth, your ignorant mouth. Okay, so Inquisitive Mind again, live beef. Original question, I believe, was for examples that don't come from that video. Proto-feminist, / question mark. I don't know what that means. If gamers can't recognize sexism in gaming or life by themselves, my words aren't going to open their eyes. I believe there's something else that she said that I can't find at the moment. But yeah, she basically said if you can't find the sexism, I'm not going to tell you or something like that. I could be wrong on it. I'm probably this post I'm thinking of, but I kind of remember something along those lines. But I mean, you kind of have a point there. If gamers can't recognize sexism in gaming or life by themselves, your words aren't going to mean anything. Unless, of course, the sexism you're seeing is from a biased point of view that only you can really see, or that you might be able to see part of the sexism, but you're not seeing all of the sexism, so you don't understand the bigger picture. So then again, your words aren't going to open any eyes because we see the sexism in video games. We actually do, believe it or not. And the thing is you don't. And I'll be happy to explain it in just a moment. And I hope my words open up your eyes if you're willing to look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so Stacy Chan comments again, and now she's referring to it's Starmanda, who I believe is, well, I'm sure I'll get to her profile. I won't try to guess now. So, oh my God, it's Starmanda, something like that. Kind of like both, but Starmanda, I'll call her for now. Listen, this poser can't even give her own examples of sexism in our supposed 150 games, because of mine, referring now to the 4 of them. Chances are she doesn't buy games like she doesn't like. I mean, she is basically saying that games should be made specifically for her, after all. Shmeggly, Shimbigley, referring to now the 5 of them. If that's the case, she's got greater 150 games. How can she be asking for more choice? Okay, so proto-feminist, now referring to Schmigel, Live Beef, Anime Eyes 88, Astral Gal, and it's Starmanda. Starmanda, why do I keep doing that? Sorry, Starmanda. I own lots of games where I can only play a male. What other choice do I have? There are many games where you can play as female. There are many games where you can choose your genders. So if that's your only criteria for gamings, then you're an idiot for buying games that you can only play as a male. You have many other choices. And there's actually videos on YouTube dedicated to the games that you can play. In fact, I'm going to try to find that one that made fun of Animaniacs, that listed all of the female characters to the song that Yakko did for the United States. It's actually kind of funny and cute and very, very creative. If I can find that, I'll try to post it in the link below, or someone sees this video, try to find that video. Okay, so Schmeggly, I hope I'm saying that right. I just wonder, if you play and enjoy the game, what's the problem? Proto-feminist. And not as a porn star version either. So she's referring now back to her original comment that she can only play as male. Well, if you can play as a porn star version of a female, then your first statement is incorrect, where you say you can only play as a male. So, I mean, you know, pick and choose your words carefully. It's not like you have to respond immediately back. You know, try to think about what it is that you're saying, because you've now contradicted yourself. You say you own a lot of games where you can only play as a male. What other choice do I have? And not as a porn star version either. Which, in a way, it almost makes it sound like you're talking that about males, but I know better that you're actually talking about females, that the only females you can play as is porn star versions of them. However, it contradicts your statement of saying they can only play as males. So, pick and choose your words carefully here. I mean, mistakes is understandable, but I mean, that just seems like you really contradicted yourself and didn't even really think about what you're saying as you're saying it. So Stacy Chan, who I've suddenly become a big fan of hers after I saw this, what's wrong with porn stars exactly? And then refers to Mercedes Carrera. Mercedes Carrera would make you look stupid on every level possible. And I agree with that. She's an incredibly smart woman. So now Mercedes, referring to Anime Eyes, proto-feminist, Astro Gal, and its star Amanda. Shame that Live Beef is not in that, but he's the one who really started this. But probably because she had to delete someone from the conversation, and I ended up having to do that myself. Regardless of intelligence or education, many feminists think we are stupid by default. Yeah, it's a sad thing. The people who hate the porn actors and actresses more is the feminists. And they're supposed to be on their side, right? So let's zoom that up again. Proto-feminists. Now to Mercedes, Anime Eyes, Astro Gal, and Star Manda. Nothing to do with porn. The fact I don't like going into battle in a thong. But especially in combat games, it's just dumb attire for the situation. I kind of skipped that one because they were linked together. Then Mercedes responds, then why not specifically say it's about the attire rather than insult porn stars? If the female protagonist is smart enough to outwit everyone, why not be sexy too? That's a fair point. Just because a woman is a warrior and can fight in battle doesn't mean that she stops being a girl. Maybe a girl wants to look good. Maybe she wants to wear a thong while she's at it. Maybe she knows that it'll distract people. Maybe she lost her pants and had to quickly take them off and then had to go into battle and it just seemed to work for her. So, hey, why not? There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to look beautiful even as a warrior. So proto-feminist responds back, what are your thoughts on games that allow killing strippers for sport or pleasure? I love what Mercedes said. Oh my God, I love this woman so much. Do these same games allow the killing of mechanics? And, proto-feminist was referring to Grand Theft Auto 5 and Mercedes, who has mentioned that she's played this game. Is it me or does she need to be in Grand Theft Auto 6? We should have that as a hashtag. Hashtag Mercedes XXX and GTA 6 or something like that. All right. Do those same games allow for killing of mechanics? Okay, so proto-feminist responds back. In some, yes, you can kill other innocents. In some, no, just female prostitutes or strippers. Where are those instances? That's a very valid question, in all honesty. What are these other games that you can only kill prostitute and strippers? Name one game that happens. Sire Padella at Verdius, Verdius. What game are we talking about that's specifically female prostitutes or strippers? Harrison Stewart, St. Rose 4, killing everyone at the same time with the dildo bat. Equality. I guess I'll have to start playing Saints Row 1 so I can get to the point where I can kill people with the dildo bat. Booze did 9/11. At 007 Bistro Math. There's an interesting name. If by some you mean all except a few screwed up porn games no one cares about, Saj or Meet Aru 123S, I don't know of any games where you can kill strippers and such. And then we come to the final thing, and of course it's small, but let me tell you, it's not the size of the post, it's how you use it. I don't know if you can see that. So Alan Harris, crash_matrix. Respectfully, then, the argument of feminists lies in the numbers. Are stats your position or deductive logic? That might have been referring to something else. I don't know exactly. My comment. Any games where you can kill a woman, you can kill a man. However, the reverse is not always true. And then a part of this stream of tweets, Saj responded again. I would actually love to know as well, because it sounds like bullshit to me. Just me. Okay, so, Mercedes made a very valid point. And let's go back to that. Why not specifically say it's about the attire rather than insult porn stars? Why say, well, I don't want to look like a porn star? Well, what's wrong with looking like a porn star? What's wrong with a porn star? There's nothing wrong with them. They are, just because they have sex for a living doesn't make them stupid. Hell, if anything, there's a certain level of genius to it. Getting paid to have sex all the time? Shoot, I wish I could do that. I mean, I have the equipment. I just, don't really have the looks for it. And, people say my voice sounds nice, but I don't know. I'm very self-conscious about my voice. And then when talking about Grand Theft Auto 5, she's like, well, hey, can you kill mechanics? Well, yeah, you can, but, just it's worse if you kill women. And that's basically what proto-feminist was getting at, is that, well, while yes, you can kill men, it's worse if you just kill women. And that's where my comment is coming from. And I think it's self-explanatory, but I do want to explain it a bit. Because really, the sexism that's seen in games, if anything, is very... and now, not all games are like this, but it's very... God, I can't think of the word. Stupid 2:30 in the morning. It's very complimentary to women, in all honesty. Because almost every woman in a game has to look attractive. Can it be actually a lot more hard-pressed to find some female character that doesn't look attractive to some degree? I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the Queen in Final Fantasy IX, Dagger's mother. But, she was designed to look ugly. But, so yeah, there are out there. But for the most part, most women in video games are designed to look cute, attractive, sexy, alluring, beautiful, exotic. And most men can look attractive, but for the most part, most game characters that are not the main characters tend to be on the undesirable side. But that's not even a big issue, because beauty is subjective. What one person finds ugly, the other person might find attractive. I'm sure there's someone out there that finds the Queen from Final Fantasy IX attractive. God rest their soul. But, was it 9? Yeah, it was 9. But the thing is, okay, take a look at the game Metal Gear Solid 2. No, not 2, 1. Metal Gear Solid. I got Metal Gear Solid 2 on my mind because of that video. Metal Gear Solid. How many women died in that game? 2. You know how we know that? Because we're reminded that all the time. How many men died in that game? Well, depends on how you played, but likely 100. More than 100. You don't consider the NPCs at all, that they're actually men. In fact, they wear a mask, so it helps us not identify them as actual men. But those are men underneath those things. Depending on how you played Metal Gear Solid, supposedly Meryl lives at the end, but I can never get that ending. I suck a little bit at gaming. The thing is, is that men are more likely to die in a video game. That I would state that 99% of all characters that die in a video game, and that includes general NPCs, are male. There's the sexism. Yeah, occasionally a woman dies in a game. Occasionally you have a game like Grand Theft Auto that seems to hate women. But you know what? It also hates men. There's actual equality there. But you're only upset because it's a woman. You know what that makes you is a sexist. You are sexist. You suffer from misandry. You're a misandrist. I don't really like that word, but I just don't like saying it. Not that it's a bad word itself. It is actually a bad word. But you're a misandrist. You hate men. You know how I know this? Because you're only concerned about women who die in a video game. And when we go back to this one, in some, yes, you can kill other innocents. In some, no, just female prostitutes or strippers. There is no game on the market that allows that. But however, I'll give you a chance to respond to this. You name me 5 games. 5. You know what? I'll give you the Anita Sarkeesian special. You name me 3 games where you can kill a female prostitute or stripper. And since you mentioned Steam games, of your 150 games, name me, actually, no, I'll be kind. Of all the games that you can get on Steam, you name me 3 games that you can kill a female prostitute or stripper. I send that challenge out to you, proto-feminists. Name me 3 games currently on Steam that you can kill a prostitute or stripper. Shut me up. Prove me wrong. I'm not against people having opposing viewpoints or difference of opinions. That's all well and fine. But we're going to pick them apart. That's called criticism. And that's something that everyone is going to go through. And if we find some bullshit in what you're saying, if someone finds some bullshit in what I'm saying, call me out on it. I may respond to it, I may not, but, call me out on my bullshit. I don't care. Because when I give an opinion, I have that coming. But, I mean, you're going so far off left field here. Is that the term? You're so far in outfield here that you're just desperately trying to make a point, and now you got Mercedes on you. And while I like girl-on-girl action, I much prefer the intellectual debate that she's giving you. And honestly, if you think you can go toe-to-toe with her, oh boy, you got some big cojones. I mean, you might be a female, but you've got testicles bigger than any man I've ever seen. I mean, Mercedes knows her shit. And yeah, I'm a big fan of her. Although I haven't seen much of her porn. I'm told it's pretty good. I've seen 1 or 2 things, but I'm more of her fan intellectually. And yeah, Mercedes makes a very good point, which was followed up by my point. Because there are games where you can kill women. But in those games, you can also kill men. But there are also games where you can kill men and not women. And yeah, sometimes women are kidnapped and you have to go save the loved one. But they're not killed. They're saved at the end. Men are killed. Men are killed in large numbers. So you can go ahead and spout out all of this bullshit that you have, but you don't even have any idea what you're talking about. And these are my words here. I'm telling you that the sexism in video games is towards men and women. And the sexism that you think women have is nowhere near as bad as the sexism towards men. Yeah, sometimes women are wearing skimpy outfits. Sometimes they're really cute or really hot. Sometimes they're kidnapped. There's a big aggressor. Sometimes they get killed. But look at what men have to do. And don't give me that bullshit about power fantasy. Because not every man in a video game could be considered part of a male power fantasy. And there's no such thing as a fucking male power fantasy. Not one bit at all. You know what video game character I most identified with? Gordon Freeman. Why? Because he was a scientist who knew how to use a crowbar. You know, I didn't think of myself as Duke Nukem. Hell no, I don't want those muscles. I'm happy with my flabby arms. Well, not happy, but I'm satisfied. I don't want muscles. I don't want to be a jock-bound moron. No offense to any jocks out there. You know, and that's a sexism thing right there. No man can live up to that standard. Where's your disgust of that? Oh, what's that? Men cannot be sexualized? You're fucking bullshit. Men can be sexualized, and they're sexualized a lot more than women ever can be. Oh, but you researched the issue. No, you had a biased research in that. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube that actually go over the representation of women in video games and did it for pretty much nothing. Anita spent 160,000% more money than some of these videos did, and these videos did a much better job at them, at any one of her videos, at any of all of her videos combined. Anita has no idea what she's talking about, and you stand beside her. Why? Because she has a pussy? Well, you know what? Mercedes has a pussy. And the great thing about Mercedes is you can go and fucking see her pussy. So if you want a pussy to follow, go follow Mercedes. If that's your only criteria for following anyone. However, if you want to use your head and you want to think about things, how about you listen to all of the sides and get the bias stick out of your ass and actually go listen to someone. Go listen to someone of an opposing viewpoint and try to understand what their viewpoint is. Because I understand what your viewpoint is. And I recognize that you're trying to have this special snowflake sort of thing, that you're a woman and everyone should fawn over you and give you everything you want because you're a woman. You don't believe in equality. The only equality you believe in basically says that women are oppressed, men are the aggressors, and you need special protections. And you want to take away the things that men love so you can be happy. So don't come into me telling me all of this bullshit. Because you know what? I don't buy it for 1 minute. And neither does anyone in GamerGate. If you really want to do research, like I said, you know, come to me. I'll talk to you all about it. Go to any of the other people I've named in this video, because they have more than enough to say on this subject. Like I said, get that bias stick out of your ass, open your mind, and actually listen to what people are saying. Because there's not misogyny in video games. There's not. Surprise, surprise, there isn't. And many women who are in the video game field are part of GamerGate. Many women, many feminists are part of GamerGate, and you just met some today. I didn't mention the name of that person, but what was it? I don't think her post actually came through, but it's Star Amanda. I think it's something like Queen of GamerGate or something like that. I mean, she's a feminist. I ended up following her. You know, she mostly said that feminists needs to be reformed, which I respect. I mean, I follow Christina Hoff Sommers, and she seems to have a very good head on her shoulders, and I'm hoping that, you know, she is the genuine article, an actual feminist, and not one of the modern movement or the third wave variety, which you appear to be, that can only see what other feminists tell you is out there, and you can't question beyond that, and you just follow whatever popular pussy is out there. Anyways, I think that does it for me. This is Mad Cat signing off.